Welcome. My name is Kenna, and it has been a while since I've updated you guys. About a year, in fact, and a lot of crazy stuff has gone down in the last year, so consider this my first update. Welcome. Glad you're here. After traveling across the country several times in my Toyota Camry and living out of the back of it, I finally landed in Utah, and I have to say, it is so beautiful. And the fact that this place got me here because of hiking and I still have yet to go for a hike says something about what I've been doing with my time. I landed here in June of last year, so we're talking June 2024, where I started staying with a friend, and I started working as a massage therapist, and I picked up a couple of clients, one of which was a professional MMA fighter. And rather than asking him like, why the hell would you do that to yourself? Why would you want to get hit? My immediate question of him was, can I go with you? Can I try it? And so I went with him to go try out this dojo of his, and I ended up loving it. I was so bad, but I had no idea how bad I was, so I was just having fun with it. And part of me really wants to know how to conduct my body and to control my situation and my surroundings, and just feel some semblance of control. And so it felt enlightening and so freeing to be able to unleash force on somebody else in a safe environment. I figured it would be a good idea to continue training to stay here in Utah and try saving up to buy a van to travel across the US to keep making more travel content. So I kept training. It was a way to have a good outlet after a long day of, healing people. I got to hurt people too. And it's not necessarily that I was hurting people, it was training for defending myself later, and that felt wonderful. I kept going back every single day. I went to the striking classes and to the jujitsu, but I just loved the way that jujitsu translated from massage therapy to, subduing opponents. And mind you, I was not very good at all, and I still am not very good, but the sense of where my body was and like how to move myself around and get out from underneath another person, like it felt natural and exciting. See, at jujitsu, I felt like it really clicked. And the way that Anthony, the coach that I'd had over there at this gym that I was trying out with a friend, he taught it in the way that my brain just really enjoyed hearing it. So when there was a bit of a parting of the ways between the jujitsu coach, Anthony, and the owner of the gym, he went to a gym in North Ogden, and so I followed Anthony there and started training with him and a bunch of other strikers that would practice all the time. And so I'd just show up for jujitsu. I'd watch them striking over across the mats, and it always intrigued me the way that they would train and be consistent, and it was just really freaking cool. Part of me wants to have other people look at me and not necessarily feel fear, but feel confidence radiate from me. And these people were saturated with confidence. I could hardly remember the name of any move whatsoever, but I feel like I was able to develop some sort of intuition for how to move my body and escape submissions and to attempt submissions. So while working with these boxers, they eventually offered to let me start training with them. So I started training under Coach Jay, who was the cousin of Anthony. Now, Coach Jay was a big dude. Like, he was probably my height, but he had hands the size of baseball gloves and they weighed more than my right leg. He had this terrifying underbite with missing teeth, and but such a genuine soul. He is somebody that taught me the basics. He made me cry a lot, and I felt like shit all the time because, to be honest, I was a really shitty striker, and I still am. He helped me to humble myself, but there was only so much of his personality that I could take. I'm not gonna lie. I practiced with them from August all the way till about February, when I finally decided that I had kind of had enough of the way that he had been training and overtraining and not allowing me to heal myself. I had no doubt in my mind this man could kill me at any moment, but he and I cultivated a place of trust, a relationship of trust. We showed up every single day and gave each other a good, honest attempt at our all. And building that consistency with another human taught me that I can depend more upon myself. I learned from him to put myself through the ringer, to not outsource my pain and discomfort to other people, and to be in control of what I choose to put myself through. Eventually, I got to a point where I had the opportunity to move down south to Orem. So it was about an hour and a half away from where I was training in Ogden. And I feel like things fell apart. I was signed up to have my first boxing match in February. And instead of going to this thing, because my coach and I kind of, he was an all or nothing kind of person, and because I decided I wanted to move, it was kind of a nothing thing. And so I left and we went to Vegas to just enjoy Vegas instead of having the pressure of a fight that I had been working towards for about 6 months, and instead just let that fall through. We all had some sort of background that we were trying to remove ourselves from, and we trained every single day to be just a little bit better than the person we were yesterday. That is something that I genuinely admire about these people that I trained with. We trained upwards of 6 hours per day in the rain, in the snow, it did not matter. We set non negotiable expectations for ourselves, and sometimes they were a little too much for me to live up to. And I regularly pushed myself to failure all the time, but I knew where my limitations were and I bounced back from them despite my coach, it felt like. I am very grateful for the training that I got, but I think it was not quite the way that I needed to receive information. I need more time to process the stuff that happens to me, and my bounce back time is kind of growing as I work with that, as I practice with that. So I needed a coach that could understand that about me and work with the way that I learn. Training in boxing and jiu-jitsu really brought up a lot of internalized shit that I had inside of my body. If you ever read The Body Keeps the Score, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Your body will hold on to all kinds of trauma, all kinds of good things, all kinds of really bad things, and everything in between. It holds on to stress and tension, and when you are practicing through movements that kind of trigger the fight or flight response in you, you do and say some weird shit. But all in all, my training over there in Ogden, I learned about myself that I am not special. There's nothing unique about the fact that I was homeless for 3 years and traveled across the US. I made it fun, but there's nothing unique about being homeless. There's nothing unique about being a single mom who lived in Section 8 housing after homelessness. There's nothing unique about training boxing or training jujitsu. But that's the thing, is I think there's not enough of a community that helps people to feel like they're not alone. That all of the experiences you've gone through, other people have gone through them too, and you have this wonderful opportunity to learn from the people around you. And I strive every day to be in an environment, in my work, in my home, in my training. I strive to be in an environment that cultivates that desire to be better.
Don't think you ever heard of it.
Thank you.
And seriously, the more you train, the better one thing you have with combat.
I'm now training at Wasatch Combat Sports, and the people down here are phenomenal. They help me to work through my injuries. They help me to work at a pace that's sustainable for me along the path that I want for myself. And I can't explain how wonderful it feels to have people that can explain to you the way that a move is supposed to feel in your body. Something that you can picture in your head while you're feeling. And they paint such a wonderful picture of what it feels like to be successful that you almost just can't help but be successful. So hopefully my recounting of my journey while I've been training will be something that you can draw parallels to your own life in. Because we're not unique, I hope that your non-uniqueness helps you to relate with some of the things that I may bring up in this series. So thank you so much for being here. I am really happy to have you along for the ride. If you wouldn't mind leaving a comment and letting me know what kind of training you participate in, or if you have ever trained martial arts ever, I want to know. I want to hear about it. Let's start this community I've been talking about. Because honestly, if I can do it, then anyone who's willing to put in the time and consistency and effort and discipline and passion into the same experiences and opportunities that I've got, then anybody could do this.